George Foulkes, followed by Shirley Ann Somerville.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I too welcome this debate, and I'd like to congratulate Patrick Harvey and his committee, not just on an excellent report, but on raising this up the agenda, and rightly so, and not before time here in the Scottish Parliament. I must say I was somewhat disappointed by the speech of the Minister. He was reading what seemed like a rather cautious civil service draft, presumably because the warm words he tried to introduce are not reflected in the Strategic Transport Review. And until they are, we won't believe that the Scottish Government is really serious about this matter. Now, I found an article in one of the more sensible articles in the House magazine of the Scottish Government, Holyrood, which was about this particular subject. And my old friend Mark Bostock, who is Consultant Director for Arab, said the Scottish Parliament needs to be getting very much more active in this debate. And that's why I welcome it. And I do agree with that. But not just the Scottish Parliament. Scottish MPs at Westminster, I hope, will take this up. And, may I say, Scottish peers at Westminster. I had the opportunity of going along and hearing Lord Adonis speak on this. And if you go to hear him speak, there is no one more enthusiastic. I've heard no one ever more enthusiastic about the railways than Andrew Adonis. He is a real, genuine enthusiast about this HSR2 as well as about the railways generally. And as Alison said, when you read his, I was going to say his blog, but I think you used the word odyssey, which is a much nicer word than blog, particularly these days. The Odyssey, as he went around the whole of the United Kingdom, from Cornwall up to Inverness, you could see how that enthusiasm coming out, and we need to capitalise on that. I think Scottish peers particularly have an opportunity to capitalise on that, because he's in that chamber with us down in Westminster, and I will be arguing the case down there as well as up here.
Would the member take the opportunity at this stage to offer his opinion on whether this is a project that would be very difficult to carry out if Scotland and England were two separate countries? It's a project for the Union.
Absolutely. Alex Johnson and I are at one again on this, and of course he's absolutely right. I must say I found a very strange phrase in the Minister's speech when he talked about neighbouring administrations. It's not neighbouring administrations, it's overlapping administrations within this whole United Kingdom. But I'm strongly in support of this. I'm a regular commuter up and down between London and Edinburgh. Like Patrick Harvey, whenever I get the opportunity, I use the train for all sorts of environmental reasons, because I believe in it, because I find it more comfortable. But I think more and more people would use the train. More and more people would be able and convinced to use the train if we had this high-speed rail link. We're way behind other countries in Europe. I regularly use the TGV in France, but it's not just in France, which who've had it for decades, but Germany, but Spain, and we're way behind them on that. And
Patrick Harvey.
Just for clarity, could Lord Foulkes confirm that those are in fact separate countries which have managed to get over the issue of dealing with this over a border?
Yes, but they do have separate companies within each country. So the TGV in France and the Spanish railway company is different. But it's a very good point. I must say, Alex, Alex and I will have to agree with that. You're my nominee for Debater of the Year if the Glasgow Herald survives long enough to have them this year. I think there's a very strong environmental case and economic case. I would just want to make one or 2 points. I think we need to look at integrated transport links. That's why I'm in favour of a link at Heathrow, similar to the one at Charles de Gaulle, so that we can get off the high-speed train at Heathrow and then take an aeroplane overseas. I think we need a lot of work done to make sure that HS2 links up with HS1, and that's not as easy as it looks. Just go to St Pancras and King's Cross and find out. I'm in favour of a completely new line, and not upgrading the existing lines, completely new, because there is a big demand on the existing lines at the moment, and it will free up the existing lines to meet that demand, that growing demand of people who want to use the railways. And I also, like a number of others, favour the conventional high-speed trains rather than maglev, because we need the trains to be able to move off the high-speed line onto other lines, particularly if we're going up to Aberdeen, Inverness and other places, as happens with some of the existing trains. So I'm very enthusiastic about this. I'm glad that even the nationalists are not taking the opportunity of bashing Westminster on this. I know the temptation must be very great, and I hope subsequent speakers will resist that temptation, because there is great leadership from Andrew Adonis on this, and rather than be churlish about it, I think we should accept that, accept his enthusiasm, build on his enthusiasm, capitalise on his enthusiasm, and give him all the kind of support that he deserves.